Edward the really useful engine.
Edward's returning from the works, said Boko a few days later. Edward is nothing but a useless old steam pot, Gordon said indignantly. He should be retired.
But he doesn't have tires, Percy said. He actually said retired, said Thomas. Retired means taken out of service.
And not a moment too soon, said Gordon pompously.
And the other engines agreed with him.
But it made the others appalled by Gordon's behavior. Percy, however, was upset.
A little later, he told Sir Topham Hatt about what Gordon had said about Edward. Gordon doesn't think that Edward is useful anymore. You gotta do something, said Percy. I shall handle the situation at once, said Sir Topham Hatt. A little later, Duck was shunting some coaches for Douglas, and Sir Topham Hatt came to speak to him. I would like you to take some cars from the mainland to Tedmouth, he said. Yes, sir, said Duck. He was then confused. I thought Edward was supposed to do the job, he said. Well, I decided to change the timetable, he said. Very well then, sir, Duck said. And he steamed out to go find the caboose. When some of the agents heard that Duck was going to take Edward's train to Tedmouth, they were pleased. Despite that how Duck can often boast about the Great Western, he is very reliable, said Henry. Makes no difference to me, said Gordon. I don't even need a back engine anyway. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to pull the express. That'll be a splendid sight for you. So long. Look out for me this afternoon. That attitude of his will get him in disgrace one day, Boko said. Unfortunately for Duck, he wasn't having a good time while making a delivery to Tedmouth. The freight cars were playing their silly games like they normally would. Duck should play with other ducks, cause he's no good at pulling us cars. Ah, quack, 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 quack. Hold back, they all giggled. Unfortunately, Duck couldn't make it to the top, and he was stuck. Oh no, this is Gordon's line, said Duck's driver. He then went to go phone the signalman. It's too late to switch Gordon onto the middle line. You'll have to flag him down, said the signalman. The conductor went to go put out the warning flag. When Gordon saw it, he was lost. If I get stuck on this hill, I'll never get started again. And he buffered up to Duck's cars. He tried to push, but nothing happened. I'll call for Edward, said the driver. Oh, you've got to be joking again, Gordon said. There's no way I was gonna push me. He should be retired, as I said before. When Edward heard the news, he was excited that he was going to be the back engine for 2 trains, and he buffered up to the engines at once. And with all his might,
He pushed hard, and the strange train set it off to Tignan. At Tignan, Sir Topham Hatt was waiting anxiously for them when he heard the news. His grandchildren were there too and were watching. "Look at that," one of them said. "The back engine must be the strongest and the best." Poor Gordon felt very foolish. Sir Topham Hatt then spoke to him severely. "Gordon, I am disappointed. You said rude things about Edward, and he's proven today that he is a useful, reliable, and very helpful engine." "Yes, sir," Gordon sighed. He felt very disappointed in himself. That evening, after he was finished with the express again, he went to go apologize to Edward. "Thank you for helping me, Edward. You really are a useful engine. I had to admit it." "It's good to be back," Edward said. "It truly does," said Boko. After that, Sir Topham Hatt's plan had worked, and from then forward, from that day to this, there had been no more talk about Edward retiring. There was silence in the shed until Derek spoke. "A very impressive story," said Derek. "Indeed," said Oliver. "If I was brought to Sodor and helped take care of in Duck's absence while he worked at Tidmouth Harbor, I'd do a splendid job and do an outstanding job help pushing Gordon up the hill too, like what Toby did." "I'm sure you would," Bear said. "Also, I'm glad that Gordon learned his lesson after what he said about you too." "Oh well," Edward said. "People will learn from things eventually and learn not to do it again," he said. It was lucky enough for Derek that Gordon had came in, and he was too tired to notice anything. While all the rest of the other engines went to sleep, Edward also shut his eyes, remembering. "Yes," he said, "it still feels good to still be in service after so many years."